good to know.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay. So let's get started. So I'm gonna talk. So it's my great pleasure to be here to give a talk. So I'm gonna talk about agile practice in Drupal 8 module development. So my name is Yas. So I'm working DoCoMo in Palo Alto as a principal architect of cloud for more than 10 years. So DoCoMo is a Japanese mobile operator. Half of the population of the Japanese people are using the DoCoMo. Well, here, like a ATT or T-Mobile, so we are providing some 4G LTE, the wireless service in Japan. But um, the reason why I'm involved in cloud is that DoCoMo is highly kind of a good customer for AWS because we are spending literally millions of dollars per month for the AWS. So DoCoMo is one of the biggest customer from the point of view of the AWS. So anyway, well, my expertise are cloud, DevOps, and agile software development. And then in the Drupal.org, I've been involved in more than 14 years. So we are developing the Drupal contributed module, which called the cloud. So if you have a laptop or, you can access to Drupal.org project and cloud, and we are developing the cloud module for the AWS portal. So I'm going to talk about our experience of the. So here is agenda. So we're gonna talk about the Scrum for the Agile development and our team members and the challenge for the space and time and development cycle process and the project management. If I have time, I can show you some demonstration for the project management tool JIRA. So let me talk about the Agile methodology, which called the Scrum. So maybe are you guys familiar with the Scrum or Agile? Oh, okay, good. So just like kind of a summary of the Scrum Agile. So we have the backlog as the to-do list, and task list, requirement, features, and through the sprint planning, we arrange we pick up the backlog from a lot of features, functionalities which we need to develop from the customer, and we come up with the pick up the backlog as a sprint backlog, and then we have some couple of weeks to 1 month sprint as the iteration, and we have a daily stand-up meeting, and then as a result, we will ship our outcome. Well, in our project, actually, we are we are omitting the daily stand-up because I will give you some reason. Because our team members, me as a Yas, as a project lead and a Scrum Master, and we have the Baldwin as a Drupal developer, and Xiaohua and Masami. And so in a word, me as I and the Baldwin are working in California, and then Kang, Yuan, and Masami are working in Japan. So we have actually 17 hours time difference. So here during the daytime, always Japan is at nighttime. So that is a kind of a challenge, space and the time. So well, if we see some timetable, so now we are in it's 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. So Japan just start in the morning, early in the morning. So still they just started to getting up in the morning. So we find some time slot to match the time zone, So, well, we decided every Wednesday here from 6 p.m. and then Thursday from 10 a.m. in Japan, we have a sync-up meeting. So only this kind of the slot, this is kind of our golden time actually. So we need to compromise, Japan or California. So either party needs to make some time actually. So I'm going to talk about the development cycle by comparing the waterfall model. So as you know, if we have here some calendar for 1 year, so starting from the plan, the requirement specification, and the design, and the implement, and the test, and the release. The problem is in a waterfall model, we only have the one-time release. And then also in each phase, we are not sure the number of the people or developers or some, the resources. So that's the huge problem. So, well, in comparison to the waterfall model, and the basic concept of the agile development is we will have some short cycle of the development, starting from the design, implement, and the QA, and the release in the short amount of the time, like 1 month or 1.5 months, up to quarter basis kind of thing. In the Drupal, well, the community decided every half year release. So through the year, we can release the 4 times. So in that way, we can avoid some misunderstanding and mismatch for the some final goal of our customer expectation. So as I talked, the release every 4 to 6 weeks, and developers are involved in from the design to QA for the agile development. In this way, our project, we have a 2-week sprint planning and a sprint review. Every 2 weeks, we have some sync-up meeting for this kind of the sprint meeting for just only 1 hour. And in addition to that, also we have, as I talked, we have a weekly meeting, just a status update. And for the release in our cloud module development, we have some releasing cycle like alpha 1, 2, beta 1, 2, and RC 1, 2, and then release. So each releasing like alpha 1, alpha 2 is correspondingly a one iteration sprint. But well, in reality, it's not like 2 weeks release kind of thing. So sometimes we have the 3 weeks and 4 weeks, and in that way, well, we are not releasing the alpha 1, but some features is starting for the alpha 2 kind of thing. It's kind of that's kind of the kind of pipeline. Still, I don't have any correct answer to manage this kind of the releasing model, because agile is always iterative, and we are improving our features. We have some critical bug, so we need to be the flexible to catch up that kind of the change. So, well, I'm going to talk about, move on to the development process. So as I talked, we are geographically separate to develop for our module. So we are using actually WebEx to communicate each other. So only the way to communicate is a kind of remotely have a web conference, like in this conference, webcam, we are using a Zoom, but well, historically reason, DoCoMo is highly using the WebEx. Yeah. And then we are using the JIRA for the project management tool. And for sprint planning, we use the JIRA first. And we come up with what kind of the future we need by prioritizing the some list of the our request, our customers' requests. So actually, our customer is our internal researchers or headquarters. And then after we come up with the sprint backlog, the engineer will start the develop. And then, well, I don't care which IDE or which tool developer use, but after they create some features based on our sprint backlog, and their engineer will create issue queue in the Drupal.org and upload a patch. So this is kind of the double management for our the sprint backlog, because we start the JIRA and we will use the Drupal.org. So first, our engineer we discussed with I discussed with our engineer, how we can manage this one. We want to use the JIRA for some reason. I will talk about it later. But well, as a result, currently we are working, nicely working, doing well to manage our backlog. So once they create the issue queue in a Drupal.org, as you know, well, the status active or needs work, and once they upload the patch, then by changing the status to needs review, then thanks to Drupal.org automated test features, the system, the Drupal.org automated system will automatically test our patch. And then if we see the all the testing pass, actually we have the 37 test cases in our development module. Actually 37 is less, I feel, but each test has a lot more internal small unit test. So actually, 37 is good enough right now. So 37 tests means like more, the big unit of the testing. So after we see the testing pass, then still in the Drupal.org, the status is keeping patch review, needs review, and then we will every single person, engineer, get together, not to get together actually, individually review the patch, and then we have only the 4 people, 4 engineers, including me. So we decided that basically the 2% after reviewing with the 2%, 2 engineers, if we agree, then we can change the review and actually RTBC in Drupal.org to change the status, and then I will merge the patch into the repository and change the fixed, and then back to the JIRA, and I will change the status to status of the backlog, sprint backlog, to the done status. And then this is the cycle, and after sprint ending, we also have the WebEx. So this is kind of a development process and cycle in our project. Actually, we tried to how to say makes our kind of the development culture like this. So, well, in a small team, members knows about the how we want to do for the development. So, thanks to our team member, actually, well, this process is working very, very well right now. So, for the project management, so I will show you some JIRA. Okay, so let me log in, go to our JIRA page. So you guys use the JIRA or have you ever? Oh, oh, everybody is using JIRA. Okay, so as you know, well, I put some kind of a created issue and resolved issue, created versus resolved chart for the cloud orchestrator. We call cloud orchestrator internally for our cloud module development. And then I put some burn down chart for our project here for the, the healthy status. So if I go to the project, and then select the cloud orchestrator, and then, so this is a backlog. So it's hard to see the color here. But we put some label of the epic about the QA or new feature, site building, and the UI UX refactoring, and with some versioning like we are developing RC1 right now. So in this sprint, we are focusing on the RC1 here. So beta 2 we already have done about the beta 2, and already we released. And then some of some other backlog. This is coming for the next sprint. We have the RC2 here.
I'm so impressed that you have everything written as user stories,
okay.
Which is like, that's so disciplined. We have tasks. We have bugs,
yes.
We have
yes.
not enough user stories.
Yeah.
And I'm just really impressed that you have every single thing written as a user story.
Yes. So actually, as you know, in Agile development, always we start some format kind of a structure of the sentence, like as a developer, we want or we need to do something so that some blah blah blah. And then, well, this year I joined DrupalCon in Seattle, and then someone give a talk about the Agile and Scrum kind of thing, and then I learned about this is not do this one kind of thing. Actually, this is just like fix the ES linked errors. It's more like a specific the task. So we should not do that. Actually, if we come up with when we come up with some user story, as a user, we want to log into the some site and site and then then do what we want to do kind of thing. So this is
resize my EC2 instance or whatever.
Right. But well, actually, well, we are doing something, and then now, well, actually, it's we have the nice project progress. So maybe we need to learn about the a lot more things to come up with the user stories and then changing the writing, that kind of thing. And we have the acceptance criteria. And we interact for the communication. We interact here internally using the JIRA. So for example, so this is a very complicated case. As a user, I want to manage the Drupal's role mapped with the IAM role in AWS by using the switch role best practice. It's very complicated. Actually, if you know about the AWS IAM, the user management, it's totally, the complicated. And then AWS is recommended that not to use the access ID and access key. And then instead of using that, they recommend that using the role. So in that way, we don't have to, share the username kind of password kind of thing. So everything is, based on the role-based management. And then actually, well, Bordering has some, lots of questions. And then actually, for me, also, I'm learning about the lots of, security, concern about the AWS. So like this, So this user story and development items are going on here. This. So we are fully using this one internally, without exposing our conversation to the Drupal.org because it's too, how to say, detailed and not related to the Drupal kind of thing. This is related to the AWS actually. And then after, Baldwin made a patch, then, we start to discuss about the Drupal related conversation in the Drupal.org. So beforehand, kind of this is pre-conversation, pre-development in our development team. So, well, I talked about we want to use the JIRA. The reason why to use the JIRA is the first, we can see the bound down chart here, like this, in our current sprint. So here, the story point is 106, and then we are burning our story point. And previous sprint, it's very nice progress actually. At the end, so we couldn't finish all the sprint story point and items, but still we are very satisfied with the this kind of the the trend line. We are following some consumption of the work. By the way, the story point, the first, we didn't put some story point in each backlog, but we started put some story point. So I can show you the velocity chart. So do you guys know about the story point? Yeah. So each task needs to have some complexity of kind of a volume or the quality of the task in each backlog. That's kind of the t-shirt side, like a small, medium, large. Yeah. So we are using the Fibonacci series to put some story point in our backlog. So two story point starts at 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21-ish. And then if we put the largest, story point like a 21, it's kind of a signal of that's dangerous. It's very huge in in the task. So we will
probably break it up.
Yeah, break up. We need to break up. So basically, our the standard story point is 5 or 8.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, well, and then when I learned about the Agile and the Scrum, so I didn't like that because it's not a scientific kind of thought, like not like an objective. It's kind of a very, very abstraction, and then there is no science. But after we realized that after several sprints, then we know about the volume of our productivity of the story point, how much we can consume the story point in a one sprint, and then in that way everybody is comfortable to assign the task based on the total story point. So now we figured out in our team 4 members can finish our backlog with around the 60-70 story points. So those story points is connecting to the next motivation of our sprint. So well, you can see the last sprint like here, the sprint 25 is exceeding our engineers' commitment. So it's getting bigger and bigger. Around here, I think we have some uh, here. I forgot, but you know, we have last year, year end and a New Year and thing. So sometimes we put some like a forward work in the springs 22 in this case. But well, if we take the average, then I guess that we have some capability to finish our backlog with the 60, 70, even 80 story point right now. Yeah, so that's the the reason why we want to use the JIRA, and then also we are managing our releasing. So JIRA has some capability to manage the release, like here 1.1 series. I put just like a goal, like a stretch of version 1.0 to refactor and then some new feature additions. So we have a goal to release 1.0 for the AWS portal. So 1.1 is obviously stretch. And then 2.0, we want to include beyond AWS portal by adding some cost management features, like assigning the credit to individual users, because our researcher tends to spend a lot of instances and forget about the terminate of the instance. And then as an IT manager in our organization, I would be surprised our AWS cost after 1 month later. So, well, in order to avoid that, we want to provide our AWS portal with some cost awareness. And then also we want to include some security policy compliance in DoCoMo, because DoCoMo is handling the privacy. Of course, we have a lot of the subscribers. I think we have 50 million subscribers in Japan. So we are very sensitive about the privacy. So we have the 200 items of the list of the security policy in the company. So that's our standard. So we want to implement that kind of the security compliance and the governance into our AWS portal. That's the motivation. So, well, version 3.0, we want to expand not only the AWS, but also we want to expand the Google or Azure or OpenStack kind of thing. So those are the releasing. If I click the 1.1, then we can see some backlog here. So it's easy to manage rather than using the Drupal.org to manage our Agile the backlog here. And then also I like the graph. I like the chart for control chart here. So also this chart shows some velocity of our engineers. So now we are seeing the rolling average is 4 days on here. So sometimes the rolling average is 2 days or 3 days, couple of days. So right now we have more like a big task to come up with the IAM role. So, well, it takes some time, like 4 days average standard 4 days for the rolling average right now. So in this way, we can estimate the project will be done when we can finish our project in the iteration. So that's why we are using the JIRA. So back to yes, right? Yeah, so we are managing the requirements and the backlogs. So sometimes our researcher requests us to add some more new features. So we will put some backlog into the JIRA. And then we will review, and again, we will have some new plan for the sprint. And then I talked about the story point. Also, well, we are managing the software release. Yes. So for the summary, yeah, well, I talked about the Scrum and team members and development cycle and the process and JIRA Agile software development. That's it. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, thank you.
Any questions?
So you're,
Well, I was just gonna say, so before you went Agile, when did you go Agile?
Well, actually, well, this project is just starting from me and Baldwin, just only two.
Right.
And then last October, the two person from Japan joined our project. Yeah, so this project is funded in our company. So, well, this is the kind of voluntary. I'm developing this, AWS portal in my company here in the Palo Alto branch office, internally.
Right, but when did you move from the waterfall? Because the project is 7 years old, I can see on Drupal.org. It says that.
Oh, yes.
When did you move to the Agile system?
Well, this kind of I'm kind of as close to real Agile is more recent, last October. Yeah.
So it's pretty recent for you.
Pretty recent.
Right. And you like it?
Yeah. Then yes. So before that, actually, well, we are not using the methodology of the waterfall kind of thing. We are just like kind of agile development, but it's not real actually. So we didn't put some story point. We are not managing the backlog kind of thing. We don't have a sprint review. So now, well, our project is more organized and kind of more formalized. Yeah.
Okay.
Process.
I appreciate how transparent you are with your workflow on Drupal.org and making it open source, and DoCoMo is, it's a for-profit company. How do you reconcile that internally with saying, hey, we're building these tools for our company, but yet we're going to give our work away for free? How does that conversation go?
Well, DoCoMo is making money from a more like a value of the some service and stuff, more like a upper layer. This is more like a system management or infrastructure management, DevOps kind of thing. DoCoMo is not making money, that's kind of a layer. But this is necessary to have.
But you don't get any pushback from making this open source?
I'm sorry?
Do you get any resistance to make this open source? Or
Yes, so this project, when I wanted to publish our outcome as a Drupal, obviously, of course, Drupal is open source. Why not? We are making the Drupal. So my preference is to develop our software based on the Drupal. So it's natural for me to, give back the community. But, I started this project 2010, around that. So DoCoMo is by the way, NTT Group umbrella. NTT is a very huge company in Japan. There is no project for the open source at that time. So maybe we negotiated to Japan side for more than half a year. But well, fortunately, my ex boss is contacting to headquarters, and it's kind of the chicken and the egg problem, right? So after I made some outcome for the AWS portal 10 years back, based on the Drupal 6, 7, and then actually, well, it was easier to publish our outcome to the Drupal community because we are in the US. It's not connecting to Japan directly. So if I working in Japan at DoCoMo headquarters, maybe well we cannot. Yeah.
You're a developer as well as being Scrum Master, and you're project lead and Scrum Master, but you're also a developer.
Yes, I'm a developer.
How do you balance those?
Well, I just, as I talked, I'm handling the another project like cost analysis of the AWS. So this is not related to the Drupal actually, because as I said in this presentation initially, DoCoMo is literally spending the lots of money in the AWS. So we have a huge problem to spend the AWS. So 10% reduction, makes the lots of yeah, profit and benefit for us. So the cost reduction is very important. Yeah, by the way. So I'm handling that project, and then I'm handling this project. And in addition to that, actually I have a main project for the distributed like a real-time streaming processing system in the DoCoMo by using the AWS Kinesis or Spark kind of thing. And also the using the Kubernetes and the container. That's a most like a main project actually. Yeah. So this is a kind of a balance. So I cannot, to answer your question, I cannot highly involved in the implementation and development in this project. Because as you know, if I stick with if I join the development, the developer needs to focus in some certain amount of time during the day. I cannot do that. So I just play a role of reviewing the patch and the testing kind of thing. So the 3 engineers mainly are developing some features, and then literally I walk through the patch. And because the one person like me knows about the how it goes. So individual engineer, doesn't care about the other person's work. So I'm seeing some like a naming convention and the consistency or some other standard in the Drupal. So fortunately, our team members are very senior. So, we are reviewing each other. So, I'm involved in the last part, like a number 5 and number 6. And I'm managing the number 1 and 7. But still, I want to develop something. So sometimes I will create some small part. Yeah.
So when it was just you involved in working, not the 2 others in Japan, how were you guys working together? Were you guys working on totally different things, or were you reviewing his work most of the time? How did you break up the work?
For the other engineers?
I know, just you involved in, like before last year, how did you split the work between you and Baldwin?
Actually, Baldwin is the main developer. Yeah, still I'm handling other tasks. So like manager role, I'm playing the manager role kind of thing. Yeah. Any other question?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.